The first Scarlet and Violet EX cards have officially been revealed. Finally, on a time that isn't when I'm bloody sleeping. This is going to be the new generation of the Pokemon TCG coming up in the near future. Now, funnily enough, I might actually see Pokemon that I've never seen. I have not played Scarlet and Violet. I haven't paid too much attention to it myself, to be honest. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any new type of Pokemon in here. I'm not sure, though. So why don't we take a look at some of these cards? Right, so here we are. We're on Poke Beach, which is where I initially saw it. So we're just going to go through every single card and then get to the main Donnies in here. So we got Smoliv in here, a simple 50 HP and 30 damage to tackle, nothing too crazy. Seems like there's no crazy HP buff on these pre-evolution single prizes right now. But then you got Growlithe here with 90 HP and a simple colorless attack. Also, this is what they're going to look like, by the way. They look, honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I feel impartial. Yeah, I'm looking at these single prizes. There's this little extra border design down here, this weird curvature here. It seems like a blend between the EX era and the Sword and Shield / Sun and Moon era. So it seems like a blend of it, but ultimately I'm a bit impartial about it. I don't think it's anything spectacular when it comes to its appeal, but again, this is just a simple, basic, non-rare Pokemon, so I don't think it's that crazy. This attack here is Search Attack for 2 basic fire energy attached to this Pokemon. Again, nothing too revolutionary, but then you come to Arcanine EX. Look at this. What on earth? So there seems to be some sort of terrestrial mechanic coming out here, as you can see here, which is absolutely nuts. So first off, let's just go through it. So stage 1, there are going to be stage EXs, so this is very similar to GXs. This one is going to be stage 1, 280 HP. So just in line with the V-Stars. So no crazy power creep in that regard. I keep saying terrestrial is terrestrial, I know. So I don't know if they're going to be kind of like, what was it they did back in the day? I'm thinking of Ace-Specs, but it's not that. They did it with an Articuno when they had these additional effects / abilities. These things, you see how it says plus here? They have a name, but I don't remember it. And that was X and Y era. But anyway, this one has the, I guess we're going to call it an effect. This Pokemon doesn't take any damage from attacks while on the bench. So it's nothing crazy broken. I guess it's just an additional bonus to this card, which is quite interesting. But I'm more interested in the attacks. First off, there's Raging Claws, 30 damage for 2 fire energy. This does 10 more damage to each damage counter on this Pokemon. Nothing too revolutionary. Not going to be a very powerful attack for that. It's nothing crazy. And then you got the free fire energy, 250 damage. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. That's a perfect 1-hit KO with a Choice Belt. But then again, I don't think Choice Belt affects EXs. So unless they release something down that line that can have that damage modification, again, I don't think it's that crazy yet. And also, it all depends on what other cards going to be released. Is there going to be extra fire acceleration? Right now in the format, there's nothing too crazy. You got the likes of Magma Basin and stuff like that, but that's really as far as you go. So but free fire energy, no colorless, and having to discard 2 is a very heavy cost looking at it right now. But ultimately, the card actually looks beautiful. Seeing the terrestrial style, the crystallization of the card, it's very reminiscent of EXs back in the day as well. It's all in the border, but there's some bits coming out, like you see the paws coming out and stuff like that. So it's very reminiscent of it, but I do love this crystal design. It seems really, really fresh, and I love that. Next, we have the card that we all know about. This one was revealed, I think one of the first EXs revealed. So this is going to be Magazone. We already know what it is. 330 HP. That energy costs 50 damage, each energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon, and then it's 2 lightning energy, 200 damage. This also does 30 damage to itself. This is a stage 2. So again, as I said, there's going to be stage 1 and stage 2 EXs. I have a feeling they're going to operate exactly like GXs, bringing single prizes back into the meta game, which was really cool about the GX era. It was like single prizes actually had a purpose rather than just it being, EXs or Vs and stuff like that. This is just bringing them back in, which I think is really cool. But at 330 HP, man, that's monstrous. Now, these have the same EX rule, of course, just to clarify, they take 2 prizes when they KO it. So it is just the revival of the EX era coming back into modern times. Now, this is a new Pokemon. I know about this one. Poor me. Nothing too special here. Flip a coin of heads. It's paralyzed. It's nothing too crazy, but here's where it gets fun. So we have the Miraidon EX in here. Now, this is the first EX we can see with Koraidon as well, just underneath. That has an ability to attach to it. I was really curious whether or not they would have abilities, because a lot of the new EXs that are actually released don't have that, but these do. So there you go. This may be very similar to Zacian and Zamazenta for the Sword and Shield era. So let's just see what it is. And now I think these have already been revealed, but just in case they're not, this one has the ability Tandem Unit. Once during your turn, you may search a deck for 2 basic lightning Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. That's kind of nuts. nuts. It doesn't end the turn, nothing like that. You just literally search 2 basic. This is the perfect setup Pokemon, and we gotta have a good attack to follow up. 220 damage. During the next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Now, one thing to note is this actually has 1 retreat cost, which is pretty solid, so you can pivot between 2 of them quite nicely. Combining this with a Flaffy is kind of nuts, because of course you can use the ability to search a 2 Mareep like that, and just keep using it to make sure your board is established, which is what Flaffy is about. So I think Flaffy is going to be the main card this may partner with as soon as it comes out, assuming there's no other lightning Pokemon coming out that can actually support this in a better way. So this is going to be a very, very, very interesting deck. Just looking at it from the current standard format, again, there may be things coming out that, you know, make it even better, but for now, it's looking really solid. And that's kind of a nutty ability. And yeah, considering this is a basic EX, it follows the V HP, so it's 220, which is going to be interesting. So I wonder how it's going to go, because at the end of the day, 220 is actually too low. Nowadays, you're not really going to be able to add damage modification. You're going to want to add things like Cape of Toughness, which I think would work on this. I don't know the exact rulings or anything down the line, but if I'm correct, it will work on this. And you're going to have to try and make sure its HP is high enough to deal with the big hard V stars that are still around and will still be around when this release. So whether or not this is going to be game changing, it doesn't seem it right now, but you never know. People said Lugia weren't going to be all that. Look at what it's done to the format. So we don't know, but it's a really, really cool synergetic card. I do like that. And here we have Koraidon, 10 extra HP, 230, with the ability, once during your turn, you may attach 2 basic fire energy from your discard pile to your basic fire Pokemon in any, oh no, fighting, sorry, this is fighting, not fire. Fighting Pokemon in any way that you like. If you use this ability, your turn ends. So finally, they've had a little nerf to ability that is very, very powerful. It works very similar to Zacian, but it's a little bit worse, right? Zacian, you can look at the top 3 cards, and if you get energy, you can do it. If not, you draw the extra cards, which is very, very strong. This one, it has to be in a discard pile. So if you're in the early game, especially if you're going first, which would be ideal to use this, you need to find a way to get that energy in the discard pile. It's going to be a lot you need to work around, but it's still a very, very strong ability ultimately. And literally the exact same attack as Miraidon, 220, and you can't use it the next turn. Pretty much the same attack cost as well, actually, just with fighting instead of lightning. One thing that's different to note here is this has 2 retreat costs, which means the pivoting and the moving around, which you're going to want to do, is not going to be as easy. But then again, this is kind of very similar to Zacian V. It clearly did work, but I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if there's going to be extra support coming out, but as it currently stands, from what I know, as of saying this now, I don't think it's going to be anything too game breaking, which is very, very rare for the 2 flagship Pokemon, so to speak. Like when Zacian Zamazenta came out, Zacian just dominated immediately. This doesn't seem to be that type of card currently. And then we got LeJunk. Nothing too crazy, 60 HP basic. Your opponent switches their active with one of their bench Pokemon and an extra 20 damage to 2 colorless energy. Nothing too crazy. And then we have some new Professor researches. We got Turo, and Sada? I don't know. Listen, it is what it is. This card, draw 7, it's just new Professor researches. Nothing too wild there. And we do have the reprint of the Ultra Ball. So we know if there's ever a rotation when it goes down to that base set, which is a very long way away, but you know, when that rotation does occur, we will still have Ultra Balls. So Ultra Ball's been reprinted. That's really nice to see. We have Beach Court, the trainer. So the retreat cost of each player's basic Pokemon is 1 colorless less. This could be quite useful, I guess. It makes something like Miraidon effectively a free retreater, which is really, really strong. This seems to be the more powerful version of the 2 Donnies here, as of current, right? So that's going to help with that, which is really cool. So that's pretty good. I do like that. It's something, again, nothing too crazy, but it's nice to have, and it could have some purpose in the future. So, and then we've got some the EX starter decks that have come out releasing some new cards. We got someone touched my spaghetti. We've got a Lucario and then a Riolu and a Lucario EX with 260 HP, so on the lower end. 1 fighting, 1 colorless, 60 damage, nothing too good. And then Aurora Sphere for 2 fighting, 1 colorless, 160, 50 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. A really solid attack. Again, it's quite reminiscent, I guess you could say, of what's it called? The Inteleon. That's the one. On a stage 1-2 prizer compared to the free prizer, if this could be charged up quite well, it could be quite a good attack. The only thing I'm worried about is that low HP, man. It's not looking good, Brev. But again, this can be synergized with Koraidon, right? Being able to just accelerate energy to the Riolu ahead of time. That could be one way to do it, but it'd be interesting to see how that unfolds. I don't think it's anything too game breaking. Anyway, that side, we've got ourselves a Fuecoco. Again, nothing too crazy. 80 HP though, which is quite nice. We got a new Mareep. Doesn't seem to have anything too special with it. Then we got a Flaffy, nothing too crazy. 20 damage, flip a coin if edge, your opponent comes out paralyzed. So nothing too crazy. And then this attack here. So, and now we have a lot of people's favorites. We have an Ampharos EX. Of course, the Ampharos has got to have something. It's a big fan favorite. Let's see what this Donnie does. So 1 color, 60 damage is pretty cool. Nothing crazy. On a stage 2, you know, I guess it's an attack. And then you've got the Lightning Tail for 1 lightning and 2 colorless. It does 140, and you may discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. If you do, this attack does 100 more damage. So just straight 240 by discarding an energy. And what's great is you get the option. Oh, no, it's discarding 2 energy. You get the option to do it, which is kind of cool. I don't know how this fares. I don't know the ruling on turbo. turbos. I think turbos do work on this. So effectively, if you do lightning and double turbo, you're actually doing 220, which for a stage 2 is a lot of commitment for it. 330 again though is pretty cool. I think they're trying to sell these stage 2s on the big mad HP. Again, it's still 2 prizes when taking it out, so effectively it's VMAX territory with only being worth 2 prizes. It'd be great to see if there's something that comes out that's really good, like, you know, like a Gardevoir, the way that was back in the day. It'd be nice to see some sort of stage 2 EX come out that's just really strong. Also got a little Quaxley, look at you little cutie boy. And then we have a Mimikyu EX, 190 HP though. Ugh. Not a bit of artwork, nothing too crazy. Again, just very EX reminiscent because of course it is an EX. It has the 1 Psychic Void Return. You may switch this Pokemon with your bench Pokemon. We've seen this attack already. And then you've got the Psychic 2 colorless, 30 damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. This is an attack we've seen many a times, and again, it depends on the format, but looking at the current format, it's not going to be anything too game-breaking. Again, I'm saying that a lot, but a lot of these attacks seems to be just rehashes of attacks that already have existed. I would like to see just a completely different style of attack, just something so different, but it's a lot of just rehashes of attacks that already exist. And again, it all depends, I guess you could say, on energy acceleration that could come out. You know, there may be some sort of psychic energy acceleration that can absolutely maximize this, but for now, I don't really see it doing too well. I mean, there's already a Mew V. I guess it's 10 HP less, but that's 2 psychic energy, so it's less requirement with the same attack, and that's seeing absolutely no play. So I don't think this is going to be anything too game-breaking. I think that's going to be the case with a lot of these EXs coming in the starters, because it's starter EX. It's very rare to have something really, really strong in those decks. We've got the Draw Freeze, the typical Draw Freeze. We've got Nemona. Now, it's interesting that there's 2 different artworks. Maybe that's one's from Violet, one's from Scarlet. Again, I haven't played the game, so I'm assuming that's what it's for. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But again, just a typical draw free that you see in every base set. So, and then finally we got Cyclizar EX. Is this? I haven't played Scarlet, Violet, so I don't know. Is this supposed to be the pre-evolution to Miraidon? It looks very set. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. It's a colorless Pokemon, weak to fighting. 30 damage. Search your deck for a basic card and attach it to this Pokemon. Energy card, that is, and then shuffle your deck. Again, an attack we've seen many a times. And then we got Full Throttle, 108 damage. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. Okay. Nothing too good. I don't think this is going to be anything game-breaking. I do like the colorless style, though. With the crystal type look, I do like the colorless with this, especially with that silver border. It looks really, really, really nice. But I don't know if that silver border is going to apply to the West, right? Because, of course, I know Japanese always have that silver border. I don't know if that will apply to us. If it does, that'd be really cool, because I do like this just clean, as I said, crystal style. Also, I've just noticed you can just about see behind the text the rest of the image. So you can kind of see Cyclizar's leg here just hanging about. So I wonder if that's the case on all the other ones. Ampharos you can just about. So it's kind of interesting. Again, a blend between the full arts, like Vs you get basically, and EXs, which is quite cool, actually. I do like that. It is interesting. You can see it here actually even more. Yeah, definitely. Okay, I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. So there's nothing too game-breaking, but what I'm really, really interested about is this terrestrial mechanic. How else are they going to use this? This seems like a pretty good effect, but that's no telling that it's going to be the best. There could be some really strong terrestrial effects on here. It's nice to have this kind of mechanic. It's completely new. So, well, not completely new. It came from EX, but it's nice to have it back, I guess you could say. So it'd be really, really interesting to see what other cards come out in this terrestrial form and what they can do. This is going to be like the strong Donnies. This is going to be, the terrestrial Pokemon are going to be the ones that are out here doing bits, right? Just like the VMAXs and stuff like that. It seems like the best EXs you're going to see are going to be the ones with these mechanics, ultimately. That's going to be my prediction at the end of the day. Actually, to be fair, I didn't even realize the Growlithe actually does synergize a little bit, being able to search for fire energy and just evolve and having that 250. But again, yeah, accelerating fire energy, turn 2, leaving this in the active, vulnerable to KOs isn't really the best. So still nothing too game-changing here, but this is just the beginning, mate. This is just the entry of a little hole into the window of the new era that will be coming our way. Anyway, I'm waffling. So that's some of the new cards. Nothing too groundbreaking, but definitely interesting to say the least, especially that terrestrial mechanic. With that said, we're going to go and leave it there. We'll see, of course, how things turn out in the future when more cards start to drop. I'm super excited, though. It's nice to just have EXs back. I absolutely loved EXs. I started collecting during the EX era. So it's really, really nice. But yeah, anyway, we'll leave it there. Do love, like, and did enjoy. Please do subscribe for more. And I'll try and keep you posted as best as I can. I know this video is a bit different, by the way, to your regular viewers, but I saw this and I was like, oh, I want to make a video on it. It seems quite cool. So we'll leave it there. Take care and peace.